Well, hey everybody, Mr. Mack here. Back to Restart, Chapter 21. Chapter 20 was something. Boy, I was on the edge of my seat, full of suspense. So, Brendan shooting this awesome video called The One Man Band, where, he was using a green screen so that he was playing every instrument they had from drums to violins. And then he would put it together in a video where there was this big orchestra, but he was the one playing every instrument. It would have been a cool YouTube video. He recruited Kimmy, who, of course, he's in love with, and Joel to help him. Joel is the camera guy. Chase was off doing something else. So they're in there they're nearly done when suddenly the doors burst open in the band room. And who comes running in but the idiots, Bear and Aaron, both carrying large fire extinguishers. And they start squirting everything and everybody in there, kicking the instruments over, kicking them across the room, squirting everything down. Foam is going everywhere. Brendan is inside the tuba. That was the last instrument he was filming and couldn't get out of it. Slipping on the floor. Joe is slipping on the floor. Kimmy is just standing there giggling. And anyway, so Aaron and Bear are having a great time, and they're saying things like, Brendan knew he couldn't do anything. Joe couldn't do anything. Kimmy wasn't going to do anything. Brendan screaming, "Go get Chase!" to Kimberly. "Go get Chase!" Brendan knew Chase was the only one who could handle this, who could handle them. And Bear and Aaron both are saying, "Yeah, go get him. This was his idea." What they were doing, they were setting up Chase. They were framing him. They were saying that this was all Chase's idea. Chase is the one who sent us in here, squirting everybody. After the giggles, Kimberly finally runs out and gets Chase. Chase finally bursts in. "What's going on?" Foam's everywhere. Instruments are everywhere. Music is, oh my gosh. Bear and Aaron are just laughing their butts off. Brendan's on the floor, tied up in this tuba filled with foam. Joel's covered in foam. Bear runs over, puts the fire extinguisher and gives it to Chase. "There you go. Go ahead. This was your idea. Go for it." "All right," Bear says. "If you're not going to do anything," of course, Chase is, "What are you talking about?" Bear goes to snatch back the fire extinguisher, and Chase isn't going to let him have it, so a tug-of-war kind of thing happens. And finally, Bear lets go. And with that momentum, the fire hydrant goes back. And of all people, who does it hit right in the face? It hits Joel. Joel's down for the count. He's down in the foam. Just got smashed in the face by Chase. The principals, the teachers come in, 6 of them. Mrs. Gilbride takes Joel to the nurse. 3 other teachers take Aaron, Chase, and Bear to the principal's office. Kimberly goes to make sure Chase is okay. And poor Brendan, is left alone in the band room, sitting there, not knowing what to do, what to believe. That the guy who was becoming his best friend, did he really do this? Did he really do this? Now, readers, we know that it wasn't. It was a setup. We know that Chase didn't. But Brendan's just not sure at this point. He's upset. I mean, this was very upsetting. Were Bear and Aaron right? Not to mention that his girl, the one who doesn't pay him any mind, but still he's in love with, left him alone. Well, at least by the end of the chapter, she comes back. "I just wanted to make sure you were okay," she says. And his hope is restored. But oh my goodness. So, chapter 21. We are in the head of Chase Ambrose. And as we should be. We've got to find out what is going on, what's going to happen. It should be familiar to me, sitting on the chairs outside Dr. Fitzwallace's office with Aaron and Bear, waiting for the axe to fall. Aaron assures me that our butt prints are permanently etched into the seats. I don't remember any of that, but it's an accepted fact that the 3 of us have spent a lot of time here. Aaron settles himself comfortably and grins at me. "There's no place like home," he says. I'm not in a mood to grin back. "Are you both crazy? What was all that about?" Bear rolls his eyes. "Oh, boo-hoo. The poor Greek geek squad." I'm furious. "Forget about them, Bear. What about me? You just got me in a whole ton of trouble. What about yourselves? You're both going to get kicked off the football team for this. And for what? So you could spray fire extinguisher foam on a bunch of band instruments?" Bear keeps on smiling. "Well, at least we weren't the ones who conked Joe Weber. That was all you." "That was an accident," I say. "You think Fitzwallace is going to believe that?" Bear retorts. "Who's going to back you up? Your video dweebs? I kind of doubt you're their favorite person right now." I'm so upset I can barely come up with the right words. "You did this on purpose. You did this on purpose to frame me. We're supposed to be friends. And you were so dead set on wrecking my life that you didn't even care that you went down the drain with me." Aaron's calm. "No one's going down the drain." "Are you delusional?" I say to him. "Or are you just stupid? With our reputation, they're going to throw the kitchen sink at us. Community service is something we can only dream about now. We're going to get expelled, and we better pray Fitzwallace isn't on the phone with the cops right now." "Relax," says Aaron in an undertone. "First off, we are friends, and we're not going to let anything bad happen to you. Just stick with us. Agree with everything I say. I got this." "You are delusional," I hiss. "How could there be any way to explain that train wreck in the music room?" When the door to the inner office opens, the knob makes a snap like a gunshot. Then Dr. Fitzwallace is upon us, his rage all the more terrible because it's ice cold. Honestly, I can't say I blame him. I'm not thrilled about being in trouble, but if any situation ever justified a principal losing it on 3 students, this is the one. He ushers us inside and seats himself while we stand in front of his desk. "Well, it's the 3 of you again. I was hoping," and he looked at me and he shakes his head sadly. "All right, let's hear it. What happened?" Knowing full well it's not going to get me anywhere, I'm about to protest my innocence when Aaron suddenly speaks up. "Principal Fitzwallace, I know it looks bad, but we didn't do anything wrong. Bear and I were just walking past the band room and we saw smoke coming out from underneath the door, so we grabbed fire extinguishers and ran inside spraying. They were shooting some kind of video and, well, they had a million lights plugged in. Something must have shorted out and caused a fire. Chase heard the yelling and came in to help us, but the video kids attacked us because their project was getting ruined. Somehow Joe Weber hit his head on one of the extinguishers." The principal frowns. "That's not what the other students say." Bear shakes his head understandingly. "Don't be too hard on them, Dr. Fitzwallace. They were probably just scared of getting in trouble for starting that fire." The frown deepens. "None of my teachers smelled smoke." Aaron sighs with relief. Good. That means we got it in time." Dr. Fitzwallace shifts his gaze from 2 of them right to me. "Chase, is that what happened?" This is it. Time for me to shoot down Aaron's ridiculous lie and speak up for my own innocence. Sure, Dr. Fitzwallace will never believe that I was framed, but at least I'll have the satisfaction of throwing those 2 guys under the bus, even if I have to go there with them. "Well," the principal says. To my astonishment, The anger is completely gone from his expression. He's waiting for my answer. And I think I know what he's hoping to hear. He's rooting for me to go along with Aaron and Bear. Why would a principal want to let 3 delinquents like us off the hook after such a large incident? I take an educated guess. It's probably a major hassle to come down hard on students the way he'd have to throw the book at Aaron and Bear and me. There are 3 sets of unhappy parents, triple the paperwork, school board meetings, maybe court cases, everything in triplicate. And my eyes find the photographs on the wall. You know, those 2 big photographs he had on the back of his wall. The 2 state championship pictures, my dad and me. Losing Aaron and Bear would be a blow to the Hurricanes, and it would definitely shut down any possibility of me coming back. So I mumble, "Yeah." "Excuse me," the principal says. It should be an easy thing to say, but each word sits on my tongue like poison. "Yeah, what Aaron said is the way it happened." Fitzwallace almost looks relieved. And I know I've picked the right answer. Aaron and Bear are both smiling. Although they're working hard to keep the celebration inside, they've gotten away with it, and so have I. We're not normally off the hook. We're not totally off the hook. We got a bit of a lecture on how we should have called for help before pulling or pulled the fire alarm before taking matters into our own hands. He tells us we need to be less impulsive and not so rough with our fellow students. Also, we're not allowed to leave on our own. He calls our parents. They have to pick us up. As we stand in the foyer waiting for our rides, Aaron and Bear are raving about our amazing escape. "Seriously, man," Bear tells Aaron, "I've been tap dancing before, but that was filth, like art." Aaron nods. I was afraid I was afraid he was going to mess it up at the end, but our boy came through. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you he'd have our back? I don't say anything, but inside I'm thinking, you know, it's true. I covered for them. I saw a way to save my own butt, and I took it. And in the process, I wrapped myself in their phony story, and I got drawn back into my old life. So this is what it was like. Make trouble, lie, repeat. Luckily, those guys are so busy congratulating themselves, they don't notice I'm not adding much to this conversation. Bear gets picked up first, then Aaron, and I'm just reflecting that Mom's going to be not thrilled about having to leave work early and come get me over this. But then, suddenly, the Ambrose electric truck rattles up the drive. It's not Mom. It's Dad. He's beaming at me like I'm here to present him with a big check from the state lottery. I climb into the passenger seat. "What?" He reaches over and playfully punches my shoulder. "Ha! Fitzwallace told me everything. I can read between the lines. Way to go, champ." "It wasn't great, Dad." He laughs. "Huh? You think that's the first time I've ever gotten a call like that about you, Aaron and Bear? It's never great, but you got away with it. That's the thing. That's the great part." I almost say, not really, but that wouldn't be true. I could easily be buried under a mudslide of pain right now, and I'm not. I can't regret that. What I regret is the way I got so free and clear. Well, I don't like Bear. I've made that clear. I no longer have any hope for Aaron either. The dad is a bit of a schmuck. He's just a grown-up version of Bear and Aaron. He's like Bear and Aaron. If Bear and Aaron were melted into one person, that would be Chase's dad. What a schmuck. So anyway, Chase went along with the story. But you know what? The best of us can make mistakes. Oh, I'm not going to say anything more. Time jump. We'll see. When I arrive at school the next morning, Miss DeLeo is waiting for me at my locker. I have a feeling I know what's coming. Miss DeLeo, she's the facilitator, the teacher for the video club. I think because of what happened, I think she's there to tell Chase he can no longer be a member, to kick him out. Clubs at school, most of the time something like this happens, you're kicked out. So we'll see. You found out what happened, I concluded. I'll apologize to Brendan, Joel, and Kimmy when I see them at video club. She shakes her head sadly. I'm sorry, Chase. You're not part of the club anymore. Maybe I'm stupid, but that really catches me by surprise. Nobody told you I didn't do anything wrong. Suddenly there's a bowling ball in my throat, and I can't seem to clear it away. That means he's choked up. He's really upset. He might even be on the verge of crying. He's so upset. He loves video club. I spoke to the Webbers on the phone last night, Mr. Leo tells me. Joel's okay, but the family's pretty rattled, considering that the injury came from you, Chase. What about Brendan? I press. Brendan knows I'm innocent. Well, Mr. Leo says, I had a talk with Brendan too. He's really not sure about your role, but the word innocent never came up. She shoots me a penetrating gaze. And Chase, it doesn't help that you backed up the story that your two friends spun about that electrical fire. That doesn't help. My heart sinks. She's right about that. I signed on to the lie to save my own skin, but I never thought about how that would look to the video club kids. They know there was no fire. They've all been waiting for the old me to show up. They've all been waiting for the old me to show up, and I sure delivered. So they kicked me out, I say. She shakes her head. No, Chase. That decision was mine. I'm really sorry. You were doing so well. Warrior, the video, you and Shoshana's, it's the best middle school project I have ever seen. I think of Shoshana. I can only imagine how mad she must be. Don't worry, Miss DeLeo, I say, surprised at how hard it is to keep my voice steady. I'll stay away. It bugs me, but what really bugs me is how much it bugs me. What do I care about a bunch of video dweebs? Who cares they don't want me in their club? And then I bring myself up short. Video dweebs? That's what Aaron and Bear call them. As upset as I am, I'm not going to stoop low enough to use their words. I blame myself for the mess I'm in, but mostly I blame those two. And think about that. That's what's separating Chase from Aaron and Bear. Chase is taking responsibility. Chase is doing the right thing. Aaron and Bear, they're only doing what feels good. They're only doing what they want to do. Self-gratification. That's all they care about. They lied and pulled Chase in. Now Chase went willingly. Chase went in there. But Chase doesn't want to be like them. Speaking of Aaron and Bear, they're acting like everything is beyond awesome between us. Funny. I found a way to give them a pass for a lot of rotten stuff, including maybe even stealing a war hero's medal. But what I can't figure them for turns out to be something I did all by myself. I protected them because it was a way to protect myself. The cost turned out to be one video club, plus the way I feel every time Aaron or Bear refers to me as our boy. I start taking weird detours through the halls just to avoid running into them. My one consolation is this is a short day for me because Dad's picking me up early at 11 and taking me to my appointment with Dr. Nyun, the sports medicine specialist. At least that spares me lunch at the football table, and I won't be eating with the video crowd anytime soon anyway. Is it possible to lose your appetite for an entire school year? I spot Brendan a couple times in the hallway, but when he sees me, he quickly turns away. I catch a glimpse of Shoshana scorching me with a look that would melt titanium. I don't think Joel's even at school today. So, part of a good person too is we had talked about this before. You have remorse. You feel bad, especially when people are involved and it's because of you that they're hurt. It plagues you. It stays with you. Guilt and remorse stays with you. It's the sign of being a good person. When you make a mistake and you feel bad about it, you're a good person. You just made a mistake. You got to fix it. Chase has to figure out a way to fix this. We haven't gotten to that point yet. This is still new. It's an open wound for everybody. Time jump. Dr. Nyan re-enters the exam room and beams at me. Beamed, when there's the word beamed, Dad is beaming at me. Now Dr. Nyan is beaming. Beaming is when someone is looking at you and they're just beaming, Well, young man, I've got good news and better news. The good news is you exhibit no lingering concussion symptoms and you're fit as a fiddle in every way. The better news is I'm signing the medical form authorizing you to return to football team with no restrictions. Congratulations. Gee, what a surprise. Dad searched and found a doctor who would clear a dead man to go out there and get tackled, and this doctor was only 60 miles away. As we drive home in the Stang, Dad rails against brain-dead Cooperman, who kept me off the gridiron for no good reason, he says. Dr. Cooperman has a diploma from Harvard Medical School in his office, I tell him. I didn't see a diploma in Dr. Nyan's wall. Dad snorts into the wheel. Just because he isn't one of those, Ivy League snobs doesn't mean he isn't as legit as they come. This is great news, champ. You're back on the team. His brow darkens. Maybe those stumblebums will start winning again now that you're back. In 3 weeks, I remind him, school rules. 1 week of non-contract practice. 1 week of non-contact practice. Then 2 weeks in full pads before I can play in a real game. Just in time for a late season playoff run, Dad chortles. I'm not that happy about my triumphant football return. And it isn't only because of Dr. Nyan, who would have signed a paper certifying I was pregnant with triplets if my father had paid him enough. It's not the medical part that bothers me. I know I'm fine. Dr. Cooperman pretty much said so himself. I'm even interested in the game and excited to see if I can still, or if I can just be as good as everybody says I used to be. The part I don't like is that football is the old me, and I don't want to be that guy anymore. Look how fast my pre-amnesia instincts kicked in the minute Aaron and Bear jammed me up yesterday. Excuse me, I'm sorry for the cough. But really, what choice do I have except the Hurricanes? I'm kicked out of video club. I've lost every one of the friends I made there. Things are finally turning around for you, champ, my father goes on. Yeah, but maybe not the way I want them to, I complain. Why? 'Cause a bunch of sissies are ticked off at you? He doesn't understand why the video club thing hurts so much. I'm not sure I understand it myself. It isn't just the kids. Mr. Leo was the one who kicked me out. Psst, teachers, Dad snorts. They have to slap you on the wrist to make it look like they're in charge. You'll notice you're not banned from the football team, and neither are your buddies Aaron and Bear. When I played, I had the whole faculty wrapped around my little finger. Yep. Sure, they threw me a detention every now and again, just to make it look good. But after the state championship, I called the shots at that school. Me. For the first time, I say it out loud. Aaron and Bear might not be my buddies anymore. Oh, come on, champ, don't be that way. And he beams at me. First, that mess with the Weber kid, then the accident, Just feels like it took forever to get the old Chase back. Don't tell your mother, but I'm proud of the way you handled Joel. You made your statement, that's for sure. I don't bother to point out that I wasn't making a statement with Joel. It looks more like my buddies Aaron and Bear were making the statement with me. And all it took was a sick imagination. I'm sorry, guys. And all it took was a sick imagination and a lot of fire extinguisher foam. By the time we get back to Hiawassee, it's 2:30. No sense bothering to go to school. Dad drops me off at home, making me promise to report to the football practice field with my newly signed medical form promptly at 4. And I will. Not because I want to, but because I'm too depressed to resist. Unhappiness sucks all the energy out of a guy. Upstairs in my room, I gaze out the window at the shingles on the sloping roof. And for a weird instant, I actually remember sitting out there when I wanted to be alone with my thoughts. Or maybe it's not a memory at all, but something I'm imagining because I've been told so many times it's what I used to do. On a wild impulse, I raise the window, swing a leg over the sash. Carefully, really carefully, I crawl out there. I'm expecting to be terrified after what happened. Actually, though, I'm pretty comfortable on the gently sloping shingles. It even feels familiar. It's not a flashback exactly. Still, it has come from my lost past. I definitely haven't been here lately. I swore to Mom that I'd never go out on the roof again, but she's at work now. To my amazement, my body arranges itself into the position I'm told I used to prefer, but planted, knees bent, feet flat on the shingles. It's a different kind of memory. It's a muscle memory. Amnesia can't touch it. I understand why I like it up here. It's peaceful and private. The town is all around, but I'm above it, so nothing can reach me. I see the school and the football field. I'll be on there in a couple of hours. It's not far away. And toward downtown is the Portland Street residence where Mr. Solway lives. And there's the park over there where we shot Leaf Man. Just the thought of it brings the bowling ball back to my throat. That's the last time I'm ever going to get to work on one of Brendan's crazy videos. Dad says the old Chase is back. I wanted that once, but right now, the new Chase is the life I'd rather have. And I've lost that too. So that's the end of chapter 21. Well, I really feel bad for Chase. Now, he made a major mistake. What was it? Yeah? He didn't stand up. When he was in the principal's office, he had the chance to tell the truth. And he didn't. He went along with Aaron and Bear's ridiculous lie. And Dr. Fitzwallace bought it. And I'm disappointed in Dr. Fitzwallace. You remember in the beginning, Dr. Fitzwallace took Chase into his office in the beginning after the accident. And he's the one who said, Chase, you have the chance to begin again, to restart your life. Don't ruin it. Make the best of it. And here, even though he didn't come out and say a lie, he seems to be happy because he doesn't have to do any work. That's disappointing. But that's neither here nor there. The lie's there. The lie's been set. But, there's intelligent people involved here. People we haven't heard from yet. In the band room, Aaron and Bear, they're certainly not included in the intelligent people. But Joe was there, Brendan was there, and Kimberly was there. And I'm not sure if Kimberly would be included either, but maybe. Plus there was a video camera rolling. They burst in, phone goes everywhere. They scream Brendan screams, go get Chase. Chase comes in. There was so much going on so fast, so much violence, so much foam. Brendan trapped in that tuba. It's hard trying to make sense of what Bear and Aaron were saying about this the whole thing being Chase's idea, blah, blah, blah. Joel saw what was going on. Kimberly certainly must know too. I mean, if she had gone to get Chase, you would think that Chase would be snickering too if it was all his idea. So, I don't know. I feel really bad for Chase. Chase doesn't want his old life back. His father is a schmuck, just a real schmuck. He's Aaron and Bear. If Aaron and Bear were melted together and 30 years older, that would be Chase's father. And, it's kind of easy to see where maybe Chase learned some of his, old Chase learned some of his ways by his father being accepting of being violent and being a bully. So anyway, I'm very anxious to hear from Shoshana and Joel and Brendan and Kimberly and the video club members. Now, granted, they weren't there, but I am anxious to hear about them. Shoshana wasn't either, but she was really, really liking Chase. And I think things were really evolving in a really good way. So chapter 22, we're in, and I can't wait to read this, into Shoshana's head. Take care until the next time. Stay safe, mask up when you go out, hands away from your eyes, nose, and mouth, of course. And take good care of yourselves, and until the next time, see you later.